I remember crying myself to sleep one summer. It was July 13th, 2020. I'll never forget it. I was crying myself to sleep because I was frustrated. I was sick and tired of really being sick and tired. I hadn't recovered from an episode flare from that Mother's Day. On Mother's Day, I got sick as a dog and I couldn't recover. And I couldn't get the proper treatments because it was the height of COVID. The world had shut down. So my doctors were calling in medications that I would get in a hospital setting outside of an IV. But it was not working. None of this stuff was working. And I fought. It was so horrible. May, June, July, and I was just like tapped out. So here I am crying on my son's beanbag. I cried myself to sleep apparently because when I did wake up, I woke up to an audible voice saying, go get some lemon, ginger, and garlic. And I'm like, okay, I've heard this voice before. I know this voice, so it's something. So I got up. I went into this store in my neighborhood. I had not gone in there. They had opened like in 2019, and I never felt the need to go in there because I couldn't eat anyway. So why would I go in there and torture myself? So once I got inside, I walked around Major Produce. They're big for their produce. And so I see this huge lemon bin, like a display of lemons. I grabbed some lemons. Mind you, I didn't even bother to get a cart because I'm like, all right, Lord, you walking me through this thus far, you're going to tell me what to get, right? So I had the lemons in my arm, went over to look for ginger, found the ginger, never held ginger root in my life, and I picked it up, and I was like, yeah, I laughed because I'm like, these things knobby like my hands used to look. And oh boy, I got the garlic and I'm carrying everything like a baby. And as I go to walk to the checkout, I look to my right and there's like, this, mind you, a huge display wall from floor to ceiling of honeys. And that voice was like, grab one of those. So I got that and managed to get to the checkout, plopped everything down. The cashier looks at me. She looks at the stuff and she looks back at me and she's like, wow, you're getting ready to make something spectacular. And I laughed at her. I said, I don't know what I'm getting ready to make, but we will see. I'll let you know. And so from that moment, got home, and I literally was walked through the process. I was instructed through the process of how to do and how to work with these ingredients. And before you know it, I was looking at this concoction. That's what I called it. This mixture of this stuff. And I'm like, so what do I do with this now? And I hear the voice. I'm like, wow, okay. Lemon, okay. Ginger, garlic, that's that same voice. I'm listening. And so I hear, go get some Daisy silicone molds. And I'm like, at this time, I'm talking out loud. And I'm like, a Daisy silicone mold? Where am I gonna find a Daisy silicone mold? Where? In the height of COVID. Who's gonna carry Daisy silicone molds? And daisies. I had this conversation all the way to the car. Got in my car. My intentions were to drive across the street to the Walmart. There's a Walmart just right across the street, which literally is adjacent to the produce store, produce market. And no, that voice like, go right. So I turned right and I found myself going out of my neighborhood into the next city to that Walmart. And so when I get into the Walmart and I'm like, okay, it's gotta be in the arts and crafts because it's silicone molds. And true enough, as I walk down the aisle and I turn right and I walk smack into a display of Daisy silicone molds. I reached my phone. I started documenting. I took a picture of the display, the price of it, and it said Daisy silicone mold. Matter of fact, they were $3.97 in 2020, 3 times as much today. So I got the molds. I only got about 3 because I didn't know how many it would take. So I bought 3. Got back home. Didn't have enough molds.